City Council Committee on Administration and Finance will meet on Thursday, March 23rd, 2023 at 6 p.m. for the purpose of discussing a bond order to redesignate $76,000 from fiscal year 2021 CIP Electrical Riley Plaza to Electrical Smart Signal Project. Notice of this meeting was posted on March 14th, 2023 at 2:59 p.m. This meeting is being recorded and is being held in person at City Council Chambers, 93 Washington Street, Salem, Massachusetts, second floor. Individuals may listen, view, or participate remotely in the meeting via a remote participation platform called Zoom through either of the following ways. You may click on the link included in the meeting agenda and enter password 795537 or telephone 888-475-4499 and enter webinar ID 886-4993-3809. Joining us tonight are all members of the Administration and Finance Committee, Councilors Hapworth, Merkel, Stott, not all members. Councilors Hapworth, Merkel, and Stott are joining us. Absent is Councilor Watson-Felt. Invited to our meeting tonight were our city electrician, John Giardi, as well as our finance director, Anna Friedman. Unfortunately, Anna had a conflict and is not able to join us tonight, but I'll add some of her comments to the record as well. So here we go. And I'll start by entering some of her comments, and then I'll invite John up to catch us up on the balance of the information. So as background, the fiscal year 21 capital improvement plan included $76,000 for LED lighting in Riley Plaza. The funding for this project was approved by City Council as part of a general obligation bond authorization vote taken on July 9th, 2020, and subsequently updated on January 27th, 2022. Because the bond authorization vote specified LED lighting in Riley Plaza, the electrical department may not utilize that account for any other purpose without council approval to amend the bond authorization. The understanding currently is that the initiative no longer requires the previously approved $76,000, but the Smart Signal project requires additional funds based on estimates. And since they involve similar infrastructure and have a similar useful life, with council approval to amend, the electrical department would be able to access the $76,000 to put toward the Smart Signal project instead. So that's a little background information. And Mr. Giardi, if you would join us at the podium, please. Just state your name and address for the record, and if you would just give us an overview of the original project, how it's going, and what remains to be done on the upcoming project.
Part of this is what we need to aggregate funds from the Traffic and Parking Commission. They're going to donate $37,600 from the Traffic and Parking, and with that money, the $76,000 will come out to a total of $409,600 to fully fund the project. What the project entails is going from North and Essex all the way up to Liberty Hill and Woodside, North and Woodside. And what we'll be doing is adding all these smart signal components, the traffic controllers, the LED walk and don't walks, the handicap ADA signals at every intersection. And Megan was asking me about a left-hand turn coming in from Mason Street. We'll incorporate that left-handed turn because I think you guys approved it at one point in one of the council meetings, so we can adapt to that fact. So we have the vendors ready to go, and Ocean State Signal will be working with Mass Bay Electric. to do the project. And it's been a long time. And the reason for the $76,000 is that the merchandise, the components keep going up every month, every year. It's hard to get it, and the longer we wait, the more costly it gets. So we're trying to put this together. It's in the works. It's been all approved, but we need your permission to be able to transfer that money and use it for this project.
Thank you. Thank you for that overview. So if I understood you right, the initial savings that freed up the $76,000 occurred simply because we chose to do the initial LED project in-house, and that's how we realized that savings?
Yes.
Excellent. That's always great to hear. And so this is purely an equipment add that this additional $76,000 is requiring for the smart signals?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
And the smart signals that component specifically is for what? For controlling when the signals turn when traffic arrives at an intersection, or for the walk signals as well?
For all of it, everything combined, Mr. Chairman. Basically, what we need to do is add cameras at the intersections, which will do away with the in-ground loops that we have in some of the intersections, that every time they do a paving of a street, they dig them up, and we have to replace them. Those are like $2,000 or $3,000 a shot. So what this will do, give us a more accurate read, and along with all the components, we'll be able to count cars, count the different pedestrians that go through the intersection to further do studies, like if we have to make adjustments to be able to move more traffic from one intersection to the next intersection. And this will be part of the process. Like, I know Mass Highway's having a hard time with their smart signal system up on 107. And the reason for that is National Grid was doing some work. You probably heard about it already. I'll just run through quick. That they short-circuited the whole 107 up from Wilson Street all the way up to Pep Boys. And that took them over a year to get that straightened out. So they've got it straightened out, but they haven't implemented the smart signal fully. But when they do, the cars will be counted coming through the intersections, and it'll be able to adjust, move cars from one intersection to another. If this intersection gets heavy, too bogged down, it takes them away from one intersection and pushes them off to another intersection, all automatic, just by counting the cars. And we're, along with this phase that we're doing, we're in line to be able to do the same thing. So when it's well spent money. So whatever we do here, we can always add to it. And we'll have the state-of-the-art equipment as far as being able to take care of our pedestrians and the motor vehicle traffic.
That sounds great. So knowing that it allows it to adjust in real time to the traffic conditions, does the equipment that we're talking about right now adjacent to Riley Plaza, does that connect to other corridors that already have existing smart signals?
Yes, yes it does, okay? What the intent is, this is the second part of it. The next part will be from Derby Street and Congress Street up to Hawthorne Boulevard, up by the hotel. So it's all going to be interlocked with cameras and LED signals, LED countdowns, the walk and don't walks. What I've learned about the walks and don't walks, I think it sets a lot of people at ease. Like, just to see the handman flashing, the people get confused. Sometimes they don't know if they should start crossing the street, if they get enough time. But when you give them the countdown, it actually gives it to them in seconds, so they feel a little bit more comfortable before they take that leap. So, and this is what we're trying to do, is be fully ADA compliant with the walk and don't walks and the ADA signals, along with the smart signal program.
Thank you. Are there any questions from members of the committee about this? Councilor Stott.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And thank you, Mr. Jarity, for coming in and for answering my questions already. My one comment that I want to make / question is to request and ensure that these smart signals are not created in a vacuum, that they're created and discussed along with the traffic and parking department, to make sure that it's not the electrical department that is deciding how traffic flows throughout the city. And when we're talking about those flows and those ebbs, that we're not just talking about flowing and ebbing cars throughout the city, it's also the pedestrians that are moving throughout the city. There was a lot of concern. We've talked about smart signals a lot, you and I've had a lot of concern with the pedestrian safety in regards to some of the smart signals that have been installed. So I appreciate you taking that feedback and moving forward, but I just want to make sure that it continues, and we continue that collaboration between the parking and traffic department and your department as well, to make sure that there's the understanding before they're installed as to how they're going to be installed and monitored. And I just want to make sure that that work is ongoing.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I have to give the good counsel a little bit of credit. I've been with her at that intersection for many, many times, working on different avenues of problems that she had with the signals, the timing, and the way they work, which is good. And I can't say enough about David Kuchowski, your traffic and parking director. He is a good man, knows what he's doing. So it's a joint effort. David and I keep in touch, and also I keep in touch with the Salem PD. So we've got a good collaboration going, and I certainly will follow up on that, Megan.
Thank you. I want to pick on that point a little bit. You mentioned that it has the capacity to capture pedestrian data as well as vehicle data. How do you access that information? Does that become available to you immediately, and does that get shared with traffic and parking in the police department?
That is basically loaded into the computer. So you have to pull it out basically with more or less like a laptop, or it has to be monitored, which we will have that capability once the system is complete, Lavelle.
And is that the kind of thing where you have to go out and connect to the system, or it comes right back to your office?
It may come right back to our office. I'm hoping that's the case, but I will try and make sure it does. If it doesn't, the worst case scenario is you have to go to the intersection, plug in the laptop, and suck the information out.
How does it operate with most of the signals we have in place right now?
We don't, because it won't do all the things that it has to do, because we're not fully operational yet, because we don't have the components in Lavelle.
Okay, so are we collecting any of that data right now for what we have in place?
No, we can't collect that outside of like going into the controller. It'll tell you like how many vehicles went through and stuff like that, but that's about all.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're
Does
welcome.
anybody else have any questions for Mr. Giardi? Councilor Merkel.
Thank you, Chair McLean. Just really quickly, this is really terrific, the work done on this. And I just have to comment, I really think the countdowns are just so much safer. Curious, what would the pedestrian data be used, like if they found heavy pedestrian, would it affect how long you do the countdown or something? Just interesting how the data would be utilized, once we have that. Just curious. And yeah, this is terrific. Thank you.
That would be part of it. Like if we saw excessive like pedestrian traffic, you'd probably want to give them more time to cross, versus like the vehicle traffic. So that would be an adjustment, Alice.
Any further questions from the committee?
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, councilors.
If there are no further questions, I will entertain a motion on this order to redesignate $76,000. Councilor Hapworth.
Thank you, Chair McLean. I'd like to move that we send a positive recommendation to approve the bond to redesignate $76,000 from FY21 CIP Electrical Riley Plaza to Electrical Smart Signal Project. Yeah, for second passage.
Councilor Hapworth moves to send a positive recommendation to the full council to approve the redesignation of $76,000 from fiscal year 2021 CIP Electrical Riley Plaza to Electrical Smart Signal Project for second passage, seconded by Councilor Stott. All those in favor? All those opposed? Let the record show I saw 3 hands in favor, 1 more including my own. With all councilors present voting, the matter carries. I'll take another motion. Councilor Hapworth.
Thank you, Chair McLean. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, seconded by Councilor Merkel. We are adjourned.